Look at
Not
that.
move right now. Yeah. Oh, it's not good.
Grand Rising, welcome to Breakfast with the Thomases on
Yes,
PTG
yes,
Network
yes.
TV. Hi
Grand rising,
guys, how y'all
grand
doing?
rising. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are, like you said, this is breakfast with the Thomas. It is Pay It Forward Friday,
Okay,
and we are on multiple platforms this day.
today,
Grand rising. This
today.
day. This day. Grand rising. Yeah,
All
this day.
right, all right, all right. Let's
So
get it popping.
today is going to be really cool. We got a great conversation.
Mhm.
One of the things that I want to tell you,
Who are you, Mr. Thomas?
I'm Mr. Thomas. Who do you think I am?
Well, go and get
Yeah.
introduce yourself.
Well, hey, Alvin Thomas, the Gold Banker, coming to you live 1 gram at a time. You know, gold is my friend. Recently, silver has been my biggest friend. I love him to death. Trying to get all I can get. I'll be very honest with you.
Oh, this is friend. I love it.
I'm trying to
No
get all I
worries.
can get my hands on.
You know, bankers don't care about them friends. They
Mhm.
care about their business.
So, what I really want to share with you guys, I got some news the other day,
Mhm.
and it kind of concerned me, but I realized if I saw a concern that maybe somebody else might have or other people are
Yep.
having concerns and they don't really understand how it affects them directly.
Mm.
So I'm gonna have a
Okay.
conversation with Miss Ruby,
So we education today. I like that. Education as a giving.
yeah,
That's what's up.
and I'm gonna talk to Miss Ruby, my partner, and my one of the spokespersons for P2G Networks, and she's also one of the facilitator of the program.
Hi everybody.
So we're gonna have a little back and forth, and we're gonna get some questions answered.
Before we get started, I want to give, like I said, people think you may think that this is not that this is, it's not a religious show. But I want to give all thanks to God and grace for his grace and his abundance that he's provided for not just ourselves, but allowed us to provide for others. Bringing together our partnership of P2G and BLI, Brotherly Love Inc. We've created so much, oh my goodness. We've actually created a lot. This young man, and that's like I said, created a lot because we brought together the ideal that serving people would be the most rewarding, and to give something that they'll be able to give to their children, their children's children, and then some. So I wanted to just let everybody know I got to catch them up.
Okay.
The scholarships that we mentioned during the week on this platform are being filled, and I'm really excited. The scholarship program for the 12-week digital financial literacy program, sponsored through Brotherly Love from P2G, is being fulfilled. I'm really excited.
That is awesome.
I can't say enough to say that when you have faith in your purpose and that it is grounded in favor, you get things you never expected. And so you just have to have patience, and you have to have faith, and you have to walk in that. And when you walk in it, sometimes when you look up and you feel like things are getting hard, you start seeing that you've made progress. So don't give up on your dreams. This is Pay It Forward Friday for a reason. We have a lot to give.
Yes,
and
yes.
Don't look, you got to hang out because we're going to be popping up. I got everything set up for y'all. Don't leave because, like I said, don't leave. I'll put it up or rewatch this if you can't. If you're hanging out, you get ready to go to work, okay? Because I'm really excited. There's an event. There's a giving event coming up. There's Great Wolf Lodge, which I'm really excited about that. That's not till February, but we got to get people, ready for that. These are some of the activities, the community activities that become a part of being within the scholarship with Brotherly Love. We reward learning. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead. Tell them about it. I'm like, what?
Like, I've been to Great Wolf Lodge once before, and let me tell you, that was the best experience I'd ever had.
I didn't get to go, so I'm going this time.
Major park, 5 water slides, dunking pool, a wave pool.
But let's not jump the gun because that's in February.
Oh yeah, but we're gonna have a ball.
We have we're gonna be doing, and I'm really excited because I love seeing people. One, we're gonna be contributing to people getting employed. We have a career fair coming up. We have a small business mixer, which is also a fundraiser. Yes, we fundraise within our community. And why? Because we make sure you know how to have money. That's P2G. That's digital financial literacy.
Absolutely.
Not only that, we want to tell the truth in our community that builds us, our truth. How do you be the people who build from the ground up and you don't know your own history? So we reinvent our history from what we used to know to now how we actually put it into action in today. So I can't wait, guys. We have so much stuff. Next week, Friday, Brotherly Love will be at the Dream Center, and there will be a beautiful giving of gifts, food, fun, and apparently a ugly
Sweater
sweater
contest.
contest. We might as well put it up now. I want to make sure you all get this right in the beginning. So everyone, it'll be a holiday party and fundraiser. Dream Center, Harlem, at 6 to 9, and 119th Street on the 19th, which I do believe is next Friday.
Right.
Okay, you guys, I want you to go here to Brotherly Love Inc. NYC. It's at Brotherly Love Inc. NYC. The website is available. Look up Brotherly Love. I love it because he does what he says. So
Yep, he does.
our amazing friend Darnell Smith has been really surprising us. You know, sometimes folks just they're not a fit in life, and it doesn't work. Everybody's not a fit, but it's great when you find the fit because it's not something you look for.
Nope.
It's something that was put together by divine intervention and it's there for you. I'm excited. So I want everybody to start with this. We're gonna be doing it's a free entry with donation. I'm gonna get them. Or $10 at the door. Just letting you guys know we gotta work with him on that. So right now, what we're doing is it's a giving. So we're letting people know, collecting household products and donations. Now, the other thing is donations aren't money, just so
No.
that you know. He's saying collecting household products donations. Donations benefit Harlem LGBTQIA residents living in the Homeward NYC, Central Harlem, and Homeward NYC, West Harlem. Guys, get out there. How many of you got stuff in your closet that you know you could re-gift to someone at this event and come and have? It's a ticket into a huge event with food,
Absolutely.
fun, events, gifts. Yes, there'll be gifts. There'll also be, because I do also know that the Thomases will be giving
I like
at the
Donald. That
event.
boy, or he always gives something away.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
always
can't come to
amazing.
one of Darnell Smith's events
Darnell Smith event
and
and
not
not
leave with something.
look. It'll be an ugly sweater holiday contest. Y'all bring your ugly sweaters because you're gonna win something. All right, a live entertainment featuring selection of soulful Christmas. Come on now, yes, this is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it, guys. All ages, bring your children, and don't forget to bring your spirit. Bring your spirit of community and family because that's what we've got for you. So
Absolutely.
now we're gonna get to it. Now we're gonna get to the sharing. Miss Ruby, we're struggling right now. We having trouble. Don't worry about it. That's the conversation you're in today. You're in the conversation of have. You're in the conversation of abundance.
Yes.
We don't speak lack because we know the opposite is there. We already know it's available. Okay? Just want to let you know. So you don't have to worry about this. Let's stay in the conversation and see what comes out. So, Mr. Thomas, you had a program today set up, and he wanted to share something. This was on his heart. You know, Breakfast with the Thomases is a conversation built out of our conversations about the world and what we've been learning in financial literacy, and really what we've been teaching for the last 5 years, and it's been growing and expanding.
And you always got to be looking.
But some of the why we wanted to know, when you want to fix a problem, you got to go to the source. There is no way to, y'all know, you can't fix a wound unless you get to where it's bleeding.
Sure indeed.
What's caused? So let's talk about it, Mr. Thomas. You said you wanted to talk about what?
We're talking about the big word I used was quantitative easing. But what I really want to talk to you about is how the money printers going back on is going to affect you, your personal.
You go ahead and define quantitative easing.
Quantitative easing is where the government pushes money back into the system so the system doesn't stop moving.
How would the people know what that means? What can they do to identify that?
Well,
What's ever
think
happened?
about it. Think back to when we had the last COVID and they started handing out checks to everybody.
Okay, the money had to come from somewhere. I don't think anyone realized where that money came from. Our government those dollar bills in your pocket, our government borrows them from the
Federal Reserve,
Right.
their imaginary bank account.
And the Federal Reserve prints them. Oh, yes, they print them. And that is how money comes into circulation. The government makes loans from the Federal Reserve, which is a bank. Now, you guys are going to come to class and get to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, graphically. It is a
Graphically.
freaking awesome process. But you begin to learn the source of your poverty
Yep.
or your consistent poverty. Look, I know, oh my God, did she say I'm poor? You're poor if you are not getting paid in your sleep. If you haven't figured out how your generation, what your generations are going to have and know how they're going to live one generation away from you.
That's it.
Literally, if you don't know what your next year's income is going to look like, you're not even sure. You cannot say for sure what next year is going to look like.
And I want to say this really quickly.
I hate to say it, we're in forced poverty.
I'm going to say this really quickly, and I want you guys to get it.
Yeah.
There are going to be people out there with everything that's going on, talking about you need to invest. You need to invest to protect yourself. But one of the things that we do at P2G is teach you how to do the research before you do the investment.
Come on now.
So,
how to think about investment for yourself.
There's a process.
From pennies. Most people don't think investments are pennies. We'll teach you how the banks make their money off your money.
A fractional penny.
Oh, yeah.
Time.
I'm really, look, I'm excited. I'm not selling anything. I tell everybody, I ain't got nothing to sell. When you go to my website, you can't buy anything except of a few programs that are independent. The reason why that is that there's educational funding. At this point, the website, you'll be able to sign up for our next session. You get where I'm coming from? Our next session happens to be in April. We'll be putting a date on it, and we'll get you guys a date. But we want you to recognize that the community is open. You need to be in the conversation about what's available.
You need to be in the action of what's available now.
Exactly.
So. You need to be in the action of taking action on what's going on now. And this video that we're going to show is going to give you some highlights.
So I'm trying to pull back.
And if you're on
I don't want nobody missing it.
If you're on stereo with us and you don't see the picture, listen up. Drop a note inside the chat if you hear something that keys in with you.
Seriously.
If you're on Clapper, you can see the video with us. Drop us a note. And on the other multiple platforms, streaming platforms that we're on, if you hear something that gets your attention, drop us a note inside the chat.
Yes, please.
We can answer your questions live. And that's what we're committed to, making sure that you get answers to what's going on and making sure that there's resolution inside the conditions that are happening right here and what's happening right here and now in your personal budgeting systems.
All right. So this is going to be called What's Coming to Money and How to Prepare. Okay? Because we're not out here talking gloom and doom. I don't do that. I don't tell you that the sky is falling. Speaking of which, I'm sorry, I got to throw in a little comedy right now. It's a sad thing, but something weird happened yesterday, just to give y'all a heads up. Yesterday, an elderly woman had a trip and fall, and she literally slammed her head into a pylon. I was able to help her with the help of another gentleman. And there was a gentleman we were out in the street, and we were trying to help this lady. It was a little loud. We're talking about Harlem in the street, 106th Street, 3rd Avenue, it's 6 something at night.
Holiday
season, the whole 9. You had the one guy screaming at the top of his lungs. Y'all don't understand. The government owns, they printing money out of control. They control us with the financial system, with these dollars. You don't get it. He's screaming at the top of his lungs. And then the gentleman who's helping me with this lady who is ill and needs to go to the hospital. We're waiting for the ambulance at this point with her. And so he's screaming, and all I can do is smile. Because the guy that's standing with me is like, shut up. And these two get into a back. He said, no, it's the truth. I'm not going to stop. And he's still walking. Okay. He's telling everybody the truth. He's putting it out there. Yeah, this is it. And that's it. And the guy, I'm just standing there like this laughing. I'm just laughing.
And I didn't get to see any of this.
He's in the car, but I'm helping out because I can't just walk away and leave this person unknowing that what's going to happen. So, In this interaction, he's, F you and all this. I'm like, oh my God. Look, I'm in all out New York, y'all. We in Harlem, Spanish Harlem, and these two are yelling at each other. One guy, I'm telling the truth. Y'all need to know. Everybody need to know. So finally, the guy trails off. He's moving on. And he's like, oh, the situation, people. I said, wrong delivery, right message. Wrong delivery, right message. This information is so important that people are going crazy to scream. Like someone going, at hand, the end is at hand. It is not at hand, my love. The shift is on, and you are all feeling it.
Yep.
Our delivery is this format. It's to help you understand what's going down and how to prepare. Because if you haven't been feeling the crunch, and everybody's got a reason for, oh, it's this, it's that, it's this. Well, it's been going on a lot longer than you think. Your grandparents have been a part of this. Yeah. Your great grandparents were a part of this. Y'all heard it like stories of the Depression, or this happened in the world, and there was wars and all of that, and how they had to live here. Well, baby, I want you to realize that we're heading backwards as a people, because we are not protecting our knowledge base going forward. We don't even have what they had for survival. We are heavily dependent. So we got to be smart about how we get this information out, right? So let's go. You're going to find that in this platform, we are going to start sending your information out. What do you know? What do you want to contribute? Because until the community starts moving information, we're the guy screaming, that will be just the guy no one's listening to screaming, your salvation.
Salvation is forthcoming.
That's what I'm talking about. We're trying to teach people that you have the ability now to change and shift how this thing is going for folks like you who don't know. So let's get in here. Let's know. Let's get on it. Got to get on it while the dollars is right. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. So new conversation. What's going to happen when they turn on the printers? Which, by the way, already scheduled. Gotcha. It's still in.
The money supply. And in just 10 days, on December 9th, December 10th of this year, the Fed is going to meet again to decide whether they're going to cut interest rates or not. And when you put all of this together, guys, the Fed might be getting closer to turning the money printer back on. Now, this kind of change affects everything, right? Our mortgage rates, our credit card interest, our jobs, our investments, and even how far our paycheck goes every couple of weeks when we get paid, right? So let me break this down to you in plain language, okay? How the Fed prints money basically out of thin air. Here's how the money printing system really works, okay? When the Fed wants to put more money into the economy or more money into circulation, the Fed does something called quantitative easing, or QE for short. Now, what is quantitative easing? In simple terms, QE is just more money in the system, more liquidity in the economy. Okay, so here's the process. Here's how it all happens. Okay, step one is this. The Fed decides, hey, we're going to add money back into the economy to stimulate the economy, right? Get things moving, get people buying, right? So the Fed prints money. Now, the second thing that happens is the Fed then takes that money and buys U.S. government bonds. The Fed buys these bonds from big banks or, huge financial companies, right? Because they're the ones who hold billions of dollars of U.S. bonds. Now, the third thing that happens is the Fed pays for those bonds with this new money that was just printed, right? And this is the part that people really don't understand. The Fed doesn't use money from a bank account, right? The Fed, they don't sell anything. The Fed doesn't raise taxes, right? The Fed just literally creates brand new digital dollars out of thin air. And that's, again, the dollars they use to buy these bonds, right? Money created from nothing. The fourth step is that the new money goes into the banks when the Fed buys the bonds with the new money. The banks in turn give the Fed bonds. The Fed becomes a bond holder and they just bought the bond with new money, right? The banks get that new digital cash. Okay. Now the Fed gives the banks this fresh money that didn't exist before. Now, all of a sudden, banks have way more cash on their books. And what do you think the banks now do with all this new cash? That's step 5. Banks push that money into the economy. How? Well, those banks, now that they have all this new money, they use the new cash to make loans, to give credit, to fund businesses, right? To help people buy homes, buy cars, right? So more bank money equals more money everywhere. That's more money in circulation and more liquidity. That's how the Fed prints money and injects that money into the economy just by buying bonds with the new money. Now, let's talk about the pandemic, because this is going to sort of illustrate this whole process, right? In 2020 and 2021, the Fed didn't just print new money. They really went wild with printing new money, right? The Fed bought trillions of dollars in bonds from banks using money that they created out of thin air. And they put those bonds on their asset side of their balance sheet. And at the exact same time they were doing that during the pandemic, the government was giving out stimulus checks. Also, the Fed made interest rates super low. So borrowing money became easier during the pandemic. People were spending more than ever before. So you had more money from the Fed out there in circulation because they injected money into the banks by buying their bonds. There was more money from stimulus checks that people were using to buy stuff, right? More money out in circulation. And then you had cheap loans, more spending, and you had the same amount of goods. Now, listen, when too much money chases the same amount of stuff, what happens? Prices jump up fast and inflation skyrockets. And that's exactly what happened in 2022, right? In the summer of 2022, we looked at inflation, and inflation, CPI headline inflation, was over 9%. Inflation went way up, right? High inflation didn't just show up out of nowhere. It was caused by all the new money that was injected into the economy. The whole process, that whole process is what we call quantitative easing, to stimulate the economy and get people spending and put money in circulation. Now, here's why the Fed had to reverse that course in 2022. Like I said, by 2022, the summer, inflation was incredibly high. So that's when the Fed flipped this thing around, and they did two major things, okay? The first thing the Fed did immediately when inflation went way up is the Fed raised interest rates fast and a lot, right? Borrowing then became more expensive across the board, right? So what does that mean? When borrowing becomes more expensive, it slows down the economy, and people stop spending and borrowing so much. That's the opposite of what they were doing at the beginning of the pandemic. Now, the second thing the Fed did towards the end of 2022 is the Fed started quantitative tightening, which is the opposite of quantitative easing. In other words, the Fed started letting those old bonds roll off their balance sheet and not replacing them. See, every balance sheet has assets and liabilities. Well, on the Fed's asset side of their balance sheet, that's where they, again, tossed all those bonds. Now, during quantitative tightening, the Fed let those bonds go and just disappear back into thin air. This means this: the Fed's balance sheet slowly begins to shrink, and money now sort of comes back out of the system. And the old bonds, those old bonds that the Fed bought back during the pandemic, they never get paid. They simply just disappear. They quietly expire. QT was the Fed's way of sort of unprinting money, so to speak, right? And the Fed really has been doing quantitative tightening for the last 3 years straight. Now, let's talk about right now. The Fed announced that they're going to stop shrinking the balance sheet on December 1st. That means no more pulling money out of the system, no more quantitative tightening. That's a huge signal, or it should be a huge signal to all of us, because it means that the Fed is now worried that the system might run low on cash. They don't want bank reserves to be too tight. And it's a big indication for me that the economy is really slowing down. right? If you're a consumer, you're an investor, you should know stopping QT puts us one step closer back to quantitative easing again. And that's where the real money printing just begins all over again. Is the Fed about to start printing money again? Look, here's the deal. I don't know. Not today, right? Probably not tomorrow, but listen, they're closer than they have been in several years. Stopping QT is just the beginning, right? Keeping the balance sheet steady is step 2. Buying bonds again with new money again to stimulate the economy all over again, that's step 3. We're not there yet. I'm not saying we are. Once the Fed starts buying bonds again, that's going to be our money printing 2.0. But again, we're not there yet. Okay. Now, when that happens, stocks are going to probably rise even further. When that happens and QE begins again, real estate is probably going to get a boost, right? Borrowing is going to get easier and cheaper. But you have to remember this, that also causes your dollar to become weaker. More money in the system can be great for assets, right? But more money in the system is bad for your everyday wallet because cheaper money causes the value of the dollar to drop. So let's talk about December 9th, December 10th coming up, the Fed meeting. This is a big one. Most experts right now believe that the Fed is going to cut interest rates by another 25 basis points, which is a quarter of a percentage point. Why? Well, layoffs are rising. Unemployment is up to 4.4% that we saw at the last reading. Jobs are weakening. Prices are still high. Some economic data was delayed because of the government shutdown, and the Fed wants to avoid a recession. And we also know that the overall economy is slowing down when we look at all the numbers. And so a rate cut coming up can help borrowing, but it also keeps higher inflation alive for longer because cheaper money means more spending, and more spending leads to higher demand and leads to prices rising faster, which is higher inflation. So this meeting coming up is important because it shows us, or it's going to show us, how close the Fed really is to turning that money flow back on. Now, what this means for regular people. Let's talk about just regular, everyday, average Americans, okay? Here's what it means. 1, prices won't fall fast, okay? Food, rent, gas, all those things are still going to be higher than normal or higher than we want, right? The second thing it means is credit card rates are also going to remain high. And that means you want to avoid that bad debt. It also means that ultimately down the road, coming up, mortgage rates will come down, but it won't happen suddenly. Okay. They're going to move down slowly as the Fed continues to perhaps lower the Fed funds rate. Also, stocks may benefit from all of this. Because the stock market prefers when the Fed is easy, right? The Fed is participating or doing quantitative easing. That's always a good thing for businesses, right? Because that stimulates spending, and businesses like spending. Also, your dollar loses buying power. As I said before, more money printed equals a weaker dollar. Keep that in mind. But also, asset valuation might rise if the Fed begins printing money again as well. So stocks, real estate, all those things tend to benefit when money is cheaper to borrow. But none of that helps if your personal finances in your own 4 walls is a mess, right? So you want to make sure that you get all of your ducks in a row as we approach a possible QE situation again. Here's how to prepare. First, make sure you build a strong cash position, real savings, okay?
Right.
6 months perhaps or more of living expenses. Number 2, stay away from the bad debt, right? High interest debt is a trap, but bad debt is debt on anything not going up in value. Steer clear of it right now, for sure. Third thing you can do right now is own cash flow assets, buy cash flow assets. And listen, it's always a good idea to own businesses. It's always a good idea to own rental property, right? It's always a good idea to own dividend paying stocks and ETFs, right?
Right.
Things that pay you is always a good idea. So own some cash flow assets. The fourth thing you can do is make sure you're playing the long game in the market,
Right.
not playing the short game.
Right.
Buy, get out, buy, leave, buy, sell, buy. No, don't try to time the Fed and what they're going to do with interest rates, and definitely don't try to time the market. So listen, that is what we should be doing. This is why I say that they're about to reset your money.
That's
And
right.
we need to be paying close attention. So I hope this quick video helped you out, helped you learn something about why I believe that they're about to reset our money. So we need to be following the Fed and seeing what they're going to do at the meeting coming up in terms of lowering the Fed funds rate. So hopefully you got value from this video. Now, look, guys, if you want tools, resources, and guidance to build long-term.
All right. We're gonna finish playing that because I still want his resources. I love this guy. Where'd you get him from, Al?
Oh, actually, I was doing research because earlier this week, we said, how do you spend $100,000?
Seriously.
And I wanted to know how people saw it. And I was looking through a lot of people and a lot of other content creators was spewing off a lot of go to the market, go to the market, go to the market. They weren't sharing with people how going to the market is affected by what you have. And he was one of the first people I saw that said, you have to look at what you have to work with.
Okay.
And he didn't even put it in. He put it into the end, but he put it in. They were just saying, just make it happen for your paycheck.
So one of the things that he said is kind of traditional. We teach people, the more cash you have, the more exposed to this that you are. So meaning the more cash you have, the more you're exposed to inflation and higher levels of taxes and interest. Okay. Now, how do you work on that? He was talking about assets that bring you in, that cash flow. But a lot of y'all can't get to those just yet. So right now, that is one of the reasons why P2G is teaching digital financial literacy. We have to get you to understand what the actual rules of the game are from where you're at.
Absolutely.
The platform is called P2G. It's called Pennies to Gold. We start you off with what you have. Some of y'all are like, nah, I make $100,000. My question is, in the end, how much of that $100,000 is making itself? How much of it is replenishing itself? You have to learn what assets are from very small to much higher to build up. And so I love this. Oh my God, there's so many. By the way, this was my first time too. So I got to enjoy that with all of you. Explaining quantitative easing and quantitative tightening was magical for me.
And he kept it very simple.
Yes. He kept it extremely simple. I hope you guys got the world of that. Y'all got the gist of what's happening that's making all these prices go up and how long this is going to last. The game is about to be on again. We're going to get lulled into comfort. Oh, we got more money. You're going to get a stimulus. My question is when you get that, how many people need another television? How many of y'all need a new car? You know what's going to happen? You're going to be the ones that are broke long term. Because a new car is what? What do you get with a new car?
A new car note.
Yes, because your stimulus is not going to be enough to buy a new car. You are going to get in the door on a brand new long-term loan that will end up costing you into the future, even after the car's gone, because you'll be paying it off through then, higher interest. Your credit will be destroyed. And we're moving away from a lot of the systems that basically regulated and protected that. Guys, if you don't know the game, you don't know how the board has changed. How do you play the game to win? This is all a setup, baby. The government's job is to make sure that the economy keeps moving, or at least appears to. You know what your job is to do? Make sure the economy in your home continues to move long term. So that's why we teach people how to use dollars, get an asset like crypto, build it up and purchase physical gold and silver. And I ask people all the time, we used to have a thing where we talk about people, why would someone, you know, the we buy gold signs that you see around your neighborhood, you see them coming up, popping up, we buy gold and silver, we buy gold and silver. They were around for a long time. And what happens is we used to ask questions. Well, why would you give me valuable cash for my gold and silver? Because the people buying it understood that gold and silver has a longer term, higher value. That over time, they don't care about turning dollar bills into something that's growing in value. Meanwhile, you spent that money and forgot all about those rings and necklaces you sold. And now you can't afford to buy them because the gold and silver that was in them went up in value and you gave yours away.
Gave it away.
You had no system. That's all. Now we're back to, wait a minute. So wait, people ask me, crypto ain't worth nothing. Well, why can't I buy gold and silver with crypto? Why would they give me gold and silver if my crypto wasn't?
Assumed value,
Y'all
maybe.
get where I'm coming from yet? Same game,
Asset,
new asset.
new asset.
Same game. I can buy gold and silver, which by the way, that's an asset for an asset. One is not more important than the other. It's just that now, okay, now
Okay.
my digital asset can buy me actual gold and silver. What can you get for gold and silver, y'all? You can get money, you can get credit. Y'all get that? And if you got gold and silver and you've had it for a while, you know it's worth more. So now,
You've got an upswing.
there you go. But if you got dollar bills that you're stacking somewhere, you think you could go and get some expensive thing? You can't even get what you couldn't even get the gold and silver you got when you started stacking bills. Guys,
Factual statement.
dollar
yeah,
bills are just that. They're bills. They're not an asset.
because they're actually a debt.
So let's start figuring out how to get in the positive debt process. A lot of people don't know what positive debt is. Ain't
Oh.
that crazy? Ain't that crazy?
Debt that you use to get ahead is good debt.
Okay, let's not be vague.
Okay, simply put, let me put it this way. So you know. And we're gonna use what we use. We take our dollar bills, turn them into cryptocurrency, which is an asset, an affordable, usable asset that everyone can get into.
Yes, quickly.
And then two, flip that into a solid asset that is physical that you can hold on to.
Now, don't want you to think it's $1 worth of crypto to $1 worth of gold.
No.
No. You need skills. You need to learn what's available. Like the banks. The banks know what's out there and they know what to invest in. So they turn your little $10 into 100,000. Y'all got to realize the banks aren't the only ones with the tricks up their sleeves or access to financial upswing opportunities. Some of y'all are following me on Facebook. A friend of mine, she kind of goaded me into this. I was like, man, I got to put mine up too.
Okay, hold on. Do tell.
My friend was explaining how it's like Warren Buffett said, if you do not learn to get paid when you sleep, then you are going to be working until you die. If you don't know who Warren Buffett is, I suggest you look him up. This man has been a multi-billionaire, multi-millionaire very long time, who lives very simply. Doesn't mean, he's not popular. He's considered wisdom in the world of money.
Yeah.
And I'm going to suggest you learn who the real movers and shakers, the quiet ones are.
And I like that he's considered wisdom.
Yes.
Warren Buffett has been in the game for over 60 years.
And when things go down in the economy, they run to that man.
To ask questions.
They run to that man to find out, should we be doing this? How do we do this? Because everybody already know he ain't bailing you out. If it ain't going to benefit him, he ain't bailing you out.
But he will answer a question or two.
Yes, he will. And thank God for that.
With basic information. You know what I like about Warren Buffett? And I read a little bit about who he is and the fact that he ran Berkshire Hathaway for over 40 years.
That man ran money. That's all he did. He ran money.
And
I want to run money.
I like him. One of the things that he did, and I thought was funny, the stock Berkshire Hathaway, and it never jumped up really big. It was a steady, consistent, dividend-paying position.
Come on, somebody. That's right.
And he ran that position.
Was. Oh my.
Well, is because he sold a portion of his thing, but when he sold his portion, what he created and just selling his portion, he might as well have just kept in the market because he made just as much now and taking half of his out as he did when he had the other half in.
Are you okay, Mr. Thomas?
No, I was tongue-tied when I read it. When I read it. And I was flabbergasted by it, honestly.
Why?
Because his philosophy is basic understanding. Like you said, you make money. If you don't make money while you're sleeping, you're going to work till you're dead. And in Berkshire Hathaway, even though he's halfway out, he's still making millions as he sleeps. and he
Okay.
transitioned into other assets to get ahead.
Well, he's moving into the trillionaire. He's
Yeah.
already in the billionaire stage.
Yes, he is.
He's moving into the millionaire space, and I'm really excited because these are moves that we've learned from watching. So we now know how to use them in small to build small increments. We have platforms that have that make that available to build up like that. As long as you pay attention, as long as you actually focus yourself on what you want. That's the first thing. We got to get out of our heads. We got to get into the world around, get into getting out of the world what we want. So the first question to answer is, what do you want? Truly, what do you want?
That's a good question. A lot of people can't answer that.
Second question is, what are you about? Because too many of us think we're about things that we've been told about ourselves. What happens is a lot I've noticed has had this kind of what I call the college student syndrome.
Oh,
College
okay.
student syndrome is when you go to school for the reasons of everybody else. Someone told you you're really good at something, or you are good at it. But just because you're good at it doesn't mean you want it to be your whole life. Now, while opportunities can be very rare, so sticking with something that can create opportunities for you, it doesn't always create fulfillment. You know, Michael Jackson is amazing at performing, and I know that man. I know that man is a performer at heart, but a human being he did not get to be. He would have preferred to be a regular old guy that everyone knew and loved.
Really?
Several times, several interviews. Do things simply that everyone else could do. You know how I know? He went out en masse just to do simple things like go to the movies with his friends, like go shopping. He had to shut down whole stores. Now, while we all go, I would love that lifestyle. I like those burdens. That's rich people problems. It takes a toll on a part of your soul, and it doesn't have to. You can have wealth. You can define wealth, which is something you are going to be required to do. You know, I'm excited, and I think I'm speaking to my new students coming in this semester. The new class starts in a week, and we've got to get down and serious about what you want.
And when do you want it?
Because if I give you access to anything you want, and you don't know what it is, it's going to be heartening to see what happens. Disheartening in such a way. So while I'm excited for what you're going to be going through, because it's going to be a lot, you're going to be feeling it, we're going to get you out your feelings. Because like my friend D said, ain't no money in there. You get where I'm coming from? Y'all going to have to get out your feelings. Ain't no money in there. And that's just how it is. So we're going to get you guys to the next level. Now, you don't have to be in the class, that particular live class, to actually be a part of the P2G networks. We want folks to go to the website and sign up because we're building a new home.
Yes, we are.
Community.
Yes, we are.
This is about community. It's not about who's in the class. It's about who's in the space. We start reoccupying new spaces where we speak and talk to each other different. Where we look, my coaching is for our students, but actually I end up coaching everyone I interact with. Then I get coached.
Because there's conversation to be had every time you talk about something.
Exactly. It's kind of exciting.
When you're in a space of giving and sharing with people, what comes out is what people really want for themselves in life.
Exactly.
And I've had it many times. Like the other day, I was at my doctor's office, and this woman, older lady, very, very, very nice. She wanted to talk about Thanksgiving that she just had with her family.
Oh.
And she said what was there for her was the fact that she got to be of service to her family at her age, and she had an injury, but she was still able to be of service to her family, and they all rallied around her to make sure the experience that they had was what she wanted to create, because she shared with them all what she wanted to create. And I thought that was the most amazing thing. And then
yes, Bonnie.
She said, I want to thank you for taking the time to hear me out, because I just had it on my heart to share, and I thought you'd be willing to hear me. I said, I'm always willing to hear what someone has to say. particularly a person of wisdom.
Oh,
A person of wisdom.
that's right.
Because there's more things that she would know that I didn't know.
Right.
But being a person of space to be able to hear people from where they are,
That's right.
it allows you to give them what they need. And for some reason, I felt so much better for it. I don't know. I wasn't even there for me for the conversation,
Really?
but I was just so in it to be in the conversation with her.
Okay.
So this is what we do, and I say that today. This is what we do at P2G.
That's right.
We're in the conversation for what you want out of it, not to give you what we have. We're going to give you what we have, but what we have isn't what you need. It lands on concrete.
Ah.
It lands on concrete. So you got to come to the table with what you want,
Mm.
what you want to create, and when you want to create it.
Well, I want to create peace and happiness and togetherness in the world.
Okay,
That's
now
my
let me
thing.
get you a little sash. Miss America, here we come. Let me get you to wave in.
Okay, let me just explain what that means. I like seeing people living in their purpose. There's a level of peace of mind that comes with knowing, not just feeling, but knowing that no matter how I woke up this morning, this is what I'm made to do. A lot of y'all are going to jobs every day, and it used to fulfill you. Some of y'all like, why am I still doing this?
Yes,
Most of
yeah.
y'all like, why am I still doing this? Most of your heart's not there. Most of y'all have amazing talents that you put aside and you feel too tired to do. You know, some of us had amazing talents when we were in high school and in
Yeah.
college, and we did these things. Even though we had full schedules, we did all of this stuff. We used to be hustling and everything. And the first thing we said, I'm older now and slowed down some. Life got in the way. You have to learn to reprioritize yourself in your life.
You don't have to settle.
You can have your happiness. See, your talents were created or given to you and are honed because that is what your purpose is. That's how you serve the world.
Yes.
You serve the world with what makes you the most happiest doing. Now, it may not be easy. Don't get it twisted. Like I said, makes you the happiest doing. But you're willing to do the work. You're willing to hone the skill. You have a willingness even through when you're feeling sick and tired to be there.
True statement. True statement.
You know what I'm saying? There's times we at work be like, I am calling in. There's no way I can do this. But then there's some of y'all go to work and y'all and people are telling you, could you take yourself home, please? Girl, I gotta finish this. We gotta get this program going. That's how you know somebody love what they got purpose. They ain't scared shaking in their boots. They got a higher purpose. As soon as I finish this, I'm gonna clean up. I'm gonna run, but I'm gonna make sure everything is set up the way it need to go. And y'all know what? Just put on a mask because we gonna have to get this. When you got purpose, it shows.
True statement.
You know what I'm saying? And it's so hard to find that for someone else's dream. Just so you know, it is hard to find your personal purpose, something that's gonna drive you out your bed, your sick bed. Heck, there's some people got up off their deathbed. Because they say, wait a minute, hold up a second. I can't be out of here before this happened. I ain't done yet. I saw a man that came out of his sick bed to see his sister before she died in the hospital. He got out of his sick bed, escaped the hospital, and went to see her before she kicked off. And all he could do was cry because he had to pray through it. And that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be there.
That is presence.
And God kept him here. He kept him moving forward. So he could now be at her funeral, which took place 2 months later. Come on, somebody. We have got to realize we do everything we want to do. Y'all know that, right?
Yep.
You get everything you ever wanted. You have gotten everything you ever wanted. Because all you ever do is work for what you want.
That's a funny statement. People don't realize.
You want freedom?
You only do what you want to do.
How many of y'all out here living in depression and oppressed? Y'all wake up in the morning and it's like, okay, I gotta do this. How many of y'all get up and that happens every time? There are people who have not missed days of work because they truly love who they are and what they are at their work because it really defines their purpose. And I'm gonna let y'all know I minimize no one's, I belittle no one's purpose. It is whatever you say. As long as you're living authentically in peace with it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay? You can tell when people aren't happy. Half the people at work that take everybody through hell, they are miserable. All you got to do is let them know you need to do what you were created for. This ain't it. And it's okay.
And it ain't, and it isn't always for everybody. What you like, somebody else may not like. They'll do it, but they don't like it.
And we have to give knowledge to Miss Ruby, I can't afford to do it. Then you have to get new skills with money. That's not to do, has nothing to do with what you want to do. You can't fund that dream yet. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's the question to answer. How do I fund doing my dream? How does my job fund that? That's all. You just got to get new tricks with money. I'm sorry, new skills.
Yeah.
Because money's not a trick. It's not a toy. It's a tool. Y'all get that?
There are no
Money
tricks
is a
in it.
tool, and it's been played over you very long time, which is why you are at someone else's dream building their skill set with their tool with their tools.
Mm-hmm.
They said, here, take this much tool because you're going to build me this much tool. And you agreed because you needed a place to live. Y'all know what I'm saying?
I don't know how you can't explain it any better than that, honestly.
Honestly, also, I want to I'm going to talk to my elders and my older people. Stop putting it off on the adults to learn about this. I'm sorry, on the teenagers and the kids. Stop putting it. I'm going to tell y'all right to your face. If you leave your children to learn and understand this, you just put yourself in poverty. Because ain't one of them kids been trained to take care of you.
Nope.
And if you need your kids to figure this out so you think you get the benefit, good luck, because that's not how that works. Generational wealth is started with you. You are the generation that creates for their generation. So if you're trying to switch that up so you ain't got to do it, get over yourself. This is going to hurt. And long term.
That's a hard.
I don't want to hear nothing about, I'm too old, I retired. Baby, your retirement is what we're talking about. That's what's on the line.
Yep.
This whole little lifestyle that you kind of, things are tight. Things are tight. They're getting tighter and tighter. And this man just explained to you what's about to happen that's going to tighten them up for the next 10 years.
And retirement does not mean go sit in a corner somewhere and live life or disappear from life. That's not what retirement is.
Some of y'all have decided that retirement means that you go out to the club or to the party or the birthday event every weekend. And that's what y'all do. You get dressed up, you party, but you broke. And you know that balance sheet at home is getting shorter and shorter. This is called a reality check, baby. With some resources, you have choices now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to suffer long term. And don't get it twisted. I'm all for the celebration, but I had to stop going to the party every weekend. When I realized I could do a door fee every Friday, I stopped doing the door fee and I started putting it into gold, silver, and crypto.
And that's crazy. Nowadays, a door fee is anywhere from
$25 to, y'all talking about $40 to walk in.
So that's $100.
That's just to walk in and shake your tail and look cute.
And
you haven't drank, eat, nothing.
No.
And you know they always got a
2-for-1 special.
They got 2-for-1 special, but there's always a raffle. You trying to win money. Now we got your money to try to win money. Come on, guys.
And then then you at the bar, and I'm gonna speak to the guys. You get to the spot, you see somebody you want to see. They're at the bar. Their pockets are low. They
looking at you.
And they're looking at you, and they step out and they want to have a conversation with you about what's on the top shelf of the bar that they can get you to purchase for them.
Yeah. Y'all know the game.
You up there talking about, I'm going to get this. You just spent $25 on a Macallan, and normally you wouldn't get past shelf 1. So
I'm going to let you know, I don't drink. But I do, I do go out. I sometimes go out. Me and my friends will come to a bar. I'm a Shirley Temple chick. I'm a Shirley Temple.
No, you're my Shirley Temple. I'll buy you all the Shirley Temples.
First time I discovered what liquor costs or alcohol costs was when a friend of mine, I told him, I said, don't worry about it. I'll cover it because, I'm thinking, maybe $10, $15. He ordered something. I didn't know what you can pour into a cup that would cost $40. But when I got my bill back, it said $45. And I asked, wait a minute, what is this? We hadn't even eaten.
Yes, indeed.
I was just catching up with my friend. This was a meeting. And I told him, I said, don't worry about it. I got it. What do you want? You need a drink? I figured, cup of wine or whatever. He got something. He got some hard liquor. And I didn't know. I don't drink. So I said, no problem. And that was just at the bar. So when dude said that bill was $45, I looked at that receipt and said, wait a minute. His drink is $40? What did you pour in there? That's gold. Is there gold going into that? Gold specs or something?
You'd be surprised.
I'm just saying. So I was like, one of the things that I let you know is if I tell you, get something, get something. I'm not coming limited. And that's what I want you to understand. Guys, y'all gonna have to read my book. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I'm part of an anthology, and we are a bestseller for a reason.
Okay, right.
My book, my contribution was to that book was how I shifted my position in the world. I went from being the one that everybody used to take care of to being the one that's not just okay, but reliable, be able to be relied upon.
Yes.
If we have a family emergency, they can come to me to a certain extent, but there's a requirement because in my family, they all know this information. My classes take place on a regular basis. Family is free. I told you, family is free. I will sit down and work this out with my relatives. Any one of them that say they want to learn and show up, they got it. But the fact is you can't force nobody. And I tell my parents who come to me all the time, I'm going to bring my kids. I'm going to just, okay. But you need to show up first. And that's the biggest issue we got. Getting people over the fact that you yourself have got to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do the work for you and on you so that you are the first one who becomes reliable. When someone says, hey, Ruby, we need, first of all, I'm not a bank. I'm not an ATM. And I'll let you know right now, I didn't get what I have by giving it away. I got what I have because I'm a good manager of it. I'm a good steward. I learned the skills to not only have, but to keep it growing forward. People go, you lucky. I'm not lucky. I put in the time.
One of the things that we say,
and you can too.
We say it to everybody and people don't hear it. There's nobody coming. There's no one coming to save you. When you're on a plane and your baby's going down and they tell you put the mask on.
You're going down with the baby.
You got to put that mask on you
first.
Then the baby.
Right.
On you.
We all want to be saving saints. Yeah. You're going to be a dead saint just like a real saint.
Now you're out here talking.
Now the baby going to be dead and you're going to be dead. Because the baby can't put the thing on. After you falling out, the baby can't get the mask on. There's no one to save the baby. Absolutely. The baby will have a mask on, and when the plane goes down, baby ain't got nobody to save them. You let you go.
And
that's your life.
Define it. And we're talking about all these seniors, parents talking about my kids are gonna get this, and I'm gonna have them.
I'm gonna send my nephew. I'm gonna send my niece. Guess what? They young. They know.
And you're telling them they're gonna come if they see you're not interested in doing the work. What on earth would possess them to do something you don't want to do?
Not only that, I'll even take it even deeper. Let's take it even deeper. Who pays your bills? You get where I'm coming from yet? Who is paying your bills? Whose money's getting tight? Why would you give someone else the responsibility when your money in your pocket? You don't let them manage your finances out your pocket and your bank account. You don't. So why would you then suggest that they will come to a financial literacy program that teaches them how to come up when you yourself are struggling? We got to get out of this mindset. Generational wealth takes place with the individual. It is not something that you give away to everybody to do. I want to just say this, I got to commend all of our immigrants who come into the country with a plan. All of my Americans, y'all need to start paying attention to the immigration plan. The immigrant plan is to get someone in the land of milk and honey, build up a place, live meek and meagerly. Meek and meagerly. They live poorly, multiples to a house, sharing a bed, working around the clock. Y'all understand what I'm saying? No one lives until we get our own, until we are able to build enough credit to get to the next and get to the next. Now we got 3 or 4 businesses rolling. We all still live in the same house. We all got cash flowing business. What that man said. We all got assets. Now that's the other thing. One of us is going to be smart enough to learn that instead of just doing business, you need an asset.
Yep.
You need assets. You need to learn how to use businesses to protect assets.
Go figure.
Ain't that the American business entrepreneur business plan? The multi-million-dollar plan, millionaire plan?
Everybody want to get wealthy, but no one want to do the work.
Except the immigrants that everybody's complaining about.
Yep.
They're the ones actually, look, why would the government want to keep people who will promote independent living of them, teaching the system that breaks out? When the immigrants are all gone and those businesses are gone, you think American businesses are going to replace them? No, we weren't trained for that, y'all.
No, we weren't.
What's going to replace them is new factories. What's going to replace them is a new assembly line you get to stand on. And it's not going, oh yeah, AI is coming for your jobs. But it ain't coming for the lower job.
No, it is not.
It's coming for the ones, that's right, that was
in the middle.
The middle class. So that middle class goes down.
Yep.
And doesn't exist anymore.
And the gap gets wider. The gap's going to get wider.
Unless you do something about it in your home with what you have. Y'all get that yet?
And you got to start from where you're at.
Come on, somebody.
To move up.
Like I said, I'm not going to ring the bell. The bell was ring already. What you doing? You can't hear it? It's going ding, 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 ding. It's going night and day. Bills, taxes, insurance, fees, bills, taxes, insurance, fees. All this is inflation. All this in the, they call it different things. Tariffs,
nonsense,
surcharges. They got all kinds of names. Bills, taxes. Come on.
And all of them are right around inflation and you being 10% below the cost of living every day.
Look, straight up, it's time to come together. This conversation takes place on a regular basis. You guys get to come into the room. I want you to come and join us on the Wednesdays. Yes, we have Wednesdays, our onboarding. So what we do is Breakfast with the Thomases is a morning conversation. Come on out. Come on out in the evening after work when you've been affected by the day, and you really need to talk about it. And you really need to figure this out, and you need to get some information. Now, mind you, our program doesn't start again until at the end of March, April. We're putting a date. We'll have a flyer up, but the site is open. Go to p2gnetworks.com. It's coming up at the top. It's coming up at the top. Go to P2G at the bottom. Go to p2gnetworks.com. Click on some of the pages that are still left. Guys, I am cleaning out my web page because we're building a new web portal. We're not going to stick with pages. See, we don't sell stuff. It's an education portal, like a school.
Yep, we do.
Okay? And we need you to have a home. So if you would like to be a part of our new program, you can get the free membership, which brings you to the community. I will definitely, for all our new members, bring you into our Telegram, which is our private space for these kind of conversations. What's going on? Who's up? I need to know what businesses should we be promoting, because that's part of building the community. What do you do? What can you contribute?
And everyone can contribute to income. Whoever you are, wherever you are.
Everyone has something.
You have
different.
a value. You have a value.
And believe me, I need all hands on deck. And all hands on deck need to be prospering. So this is where you're coming. I need all hands on deck, and I need them to be prospering. You can bring whatever you got, but if you're not doing the most with it and getting the most out of it, guess what's going to happen?
What's going to happen?
You're just going to work until you die. And we don't want to see that anymore. Unfortunately, I lost 2 fathers in that way. Both my dads passed away. The men that raised me to be the strong woman who has a heart for the world. And yes, I also have a strong back as well as strong resolve. I don't play games and I don't cross words. I try my best not to give you nonsense because I see greatness in you. So I won't accept nonsense. And on that note, I want to say thank you for giving us your time and being with us in this conversation. Grand Rising, welcome to this a beautiful Friday. wherever you are. I don't care if it's pouring rain. Give thanks and love for what you got.
Gratitude, gratitude.
That's
Today.
all it takes. It's some gratitude. So let's get going. Okay, guys? Let's get going. I'll see you soon, and I love you much. Peace and love from P2G. Don't forget, I'm gonna put this up one more again. Oh, my bad.
Money, bro.
Oh, where is it? There we go. Guys, this is the event. It's going to be on 100, it's going to be a 205 West 119th Street. Please forgive me, it's a little hard to see.
Yep.
205 West 119th Street. It's in Harlem. Look that up and see where it is. It's going to be on the 19th, and I hope you have a ball and enjoy yourself. See you soon. If you want more details and information, just reach out to us. And as a matter of fact, Brotherly Love's website and their information, they have a Eventbrite. You can, it's $10 a donation of an item or $10 at the door. Got it? That's how it
Got
works.
it.
Free entry with donation or $10 at the door. It's not both. We had to read that clearly. Let's go. Let's go. Let's have some fun. We'll see
I
you
can't
soon.
wait to get to the show.
Yep.